Many people go missing each year, never to be seen again, sometimes under truly bizarre events. It is always tragic when this happens, especially when a young child goes missing. The person's loved ones go through a tremendous amount of anxiety and fear, wondering what happened. Too often, so much time goes by that they have to give up and declare the person dead. There is, however, a small group of that people that are eventually found again. It might take a few days or it might take decades, but they are found. Today we take a look at 3 people that were missing for years but was recently found alive. In 2002, Brenda Heist was 43 years old. She lived with her husband Lee and their 2 children in Lancaster County, southeastern Pennsylvania. An 8-year-old daughter named Morgan and a 12-year-old son named Lee Jr. During that time, she and her husband was getting a divorce. Brenda tried to get her own apartment, but didn't qualify for government assistance. On February 8, Brenda took her 2 children to school. She was feeling depressed, overwhelmed, and distraught. After she dropped them off at school, she drove to a nearby town. She walked to a park and sat on a bench and cried. 2 strangers approached her and asked her if she was alright. That was the last known sighting of Brenda. 4 days later, the police found her car near the bench where she sat in a bus station lot. The police felt that she was abducted or that her husband Lee had done something to her. They never even thought that she might have ran away. Since Lee was a suspect in the case, the community shunned him. Other parents didn't allow their kids to play with Lee's kids. He also lost his job and eventually also his house. Other than Lee, there were never really any other suspects. The case soon grew cold, and would remain that way for the next 11 years. On April 26 of 2013, a 54-year-old woman, Kelsey Leanne Smith, surrendered herself to the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. She told the officers that she was tired of running away and that she was in fact Brenda Heist. While Lee and the 2 children were wondering what happened to Brenda, she was safe and sound in Florida. It turned out that while Brenda was sitting on a bench and crying, that a group of homeless people came across her and asked her if she would like to travel with them, to which she said yes. They went to Key Largo, where they lived under bridges and ate from garbage cans. After that, she moved in with a man into a trailer where they lived for the next 7 years. When that didn't work out, she went back to living on the streets. In December 2012, she got a job as a live-in housekeeper in Tampa Bay. A few months later, police pulled Brenda over for driving with an expired license plate and found drugs in her car. She served 2 months in jail. After she was released, she went back to jail for a few weeks on an identity theft charge. After that, she lived in a tent community run by a Florida social service agency. This all led to her finally telling the officers who she really was. Her 2 children were already in college when they found out, and they want absolutely nothing to do with her. Morgan was quoted as saying, "I hope to eventually forgive her one day for myself, not for her." John Darwin was born on August 14, 1950 in England. On 22nd December of 1973, he married Anne Stevenson. He worked as a teacher and later decided to become a prison officer. On the 21st of March 2002, John was seen paddling out to sea in his kayak. When he didn't show up for work, he was reported as missing. A massive search was launched immediately. The next day, a paddle was found that could have belonged to John. Later that day, the wreckage of the kayak was found. The rescuers were amazed by how John could have gotten into such big trouble when the conditions were so good. His death certificate was then issued, which allowed his wife to claim £25,000 of insurance. The mortgage of £130,000 was also paid off. On December 1st of 2007, John Darwin walked into the police station in London and claimed he had no memory of the last 5 years. The police did not believe him and did some investigating. This is what they found. The Darwins faked John's death. He went to live next door to their family home and moved back in with his wife in 2003. Also in 2003, one of her tenants actually saw John and asked him, "Aren't you supposed to be dead?" But John convinced him to keep quiet. In 2006, the Darwins flew to Panama since they considered moving there permanently. Here is a photo of the two of them took with an estate agent. They sold all of their properties in the UK and moved to Panama. Panama's laws changed however in 2007, which meant John needed UK police to verify who he was. He couldn't do this, of course, since he was supposed to be dead. It was then that he decided to go back to the UK and pretend that he had amnesia for the last 5 years. The photo of the couple that was taken in 2006 was crucial evidence of their scam. The Darwin's children was at first elated to hear their father was alive, but when they heard what their parents did, they chose to no longer have contact with their parents. On July 23rd of 2008, John Darwin and Anne Darwin were both convicted of fraud. They had to sell all their properties to pay back the money. Charles Bothuell and Monique Dillard was a Detroit couple living with their son Charlie. Early 2014, the couple reported their son Charlie missing. Charles even went on live television and was interviewed by Nancy Grace. You would not believe what happened during this interview.
Reports that your son has been found in your basement. Sir? Mr. Bothuell, are you...
What?
Yeah, we are getting reports that your son has been found alive in your basement.
What?
Yes, that's what, if you could hand me that wire very quickly. Yeah, we're getting that right now from yeah, how could your son be alive in your basement?
Oh, shit. I have no idea.
Now, this is just a report that we are hearing out of Detroit that we're trying to confirm.
God,
everybody
please.
in New York, please get on it. Let me know when we get Charlie Langton from WWJ.
We've been on the lookout for him. We searched that entire house repeatedly. The FBI searched, the Detroit police searched. We've all searched.
That is right, 11 days after Charlie went missing, he was found in the family's basement. Charlie claimed that his mother locked him in the basement and he was too afraid to come out. In April 2015, the couple were arrested and charged with torture and second-degree child abuse. Charles pleaded guilty. He also stated that he beat his son with a PVC pipe. He was sentenced to 18 months of probation and mandatory anger management classes. Monique accepted a plea deal, but the details were not made public.